Hello, so this is a quick video, or quick-ish, which I'll do the COVID exam, right? I'll just go through and do everything and I'll type out an answer. So I'm going to share the screen. And so this is the exam that we're using. And so I'm just going to go through and do everything that I need to. So get the research question, all this stuff. So I need to create some variables first. One, countries that are democratic, score of 4 or above. I need to control population. That's already there. Pop density. That's already there. Percentage of adults. That's already there. Percentage population that smokes. GDP and health spending per capita. So I'm going to have to think about COVID death rate. I've got the COVID number of deaths, but I have to create a COVID death rate and then this EIU index. So if we look at the data, the COVID deaths, I'm going to insert that here. So my COVID death rate, is simply going to be equal to COVID deaths divided by population. Now this is population in thousands. So I'm going to need to multiply that. So let's do by how many deaths per million. So that would be times 1,000. Yeah. So it's 64 deaths odd in Albania due to COVID. Now I'm going to format this cell to, I'm just going to go to 2 decimal places. That'll look a lot better. Now age, population to population density, healthcare expenditure, and then I want this EIU variable. So I'm going to create that. So let's just do this. So equal if less than 4. So yeah, I'm just telling it here if the democracy variable is less than 4. Oh no, it's greater than 4, isn't it? Yeah. Greater than 4, then it's going to be a democracy. Yeah. Then just copy down. Let's see the countries that aren't democracies. Yes, that all looks right. So I've created my new variables. I'm going to now summarize the data sets. I'm going to summarize all of the variables. So this is, I'll go to data analysis. Oh, descriptive statistics. This has stuff in because, you know, this is what you would see the first time you do it, okay? So now I'm going to highlight all of the variables. I'm not going to use them all. I'm just going to highlight them all to see that I've got them. Labels and first rows, summary statistics. Okay. So I've got all my variables. So which ones am I going to report? Well, I'm going to report the death rate and I can report the mean there. Mean or the median, they both look good. It's big, they both look good. I'm going to do age. I'm going to do population. I'm not going to do population size. I'm going to do population density. Obesity, I could do either. Smoking, either. GDP and health. These I'm going to have to do median. All right. So now I'm going to simply create a table. So this is going to be table 1, summary stats. Yeah, I'm going to insert a table. So I'm going to need at least that, maybe more. So variable median, yeah, and COVID right. Right, so the reader will know what that means. And so COVID death rate, I could do either. So I'm going to do the mean because that's perfectly fine. Yeah. Then I'm going to do age of over 65. And over 65. Again, I can use the mean or median. So I'm going to use the mean because I can there. 35. Population density. I'm going to use the median because they're so different. Obesity percentage, I'm going to use the mean again, 20.94. All right, I'm going to leave it there, but you would just fill in the rest. I'm just going to put democracy. Democracy, and that's going to be the mean, and that's going to be 86.76%. Yeah, that's what that is. So that's good. It's easy done. So let's look at the death rate. We did this last night, but it goes from 5 to 3,000. So I'm going to do it in 250s. So bins. Do it in 250s because we did that last night. There we go. No, too far. Labels, and I've got to make sure I click on chart output. This looks good, so I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete that and say 0 to 250. All right, I could go through that. I'm not going to, so I'm just going to do. But I would expect you to fill all those in. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to change this to yeah. And then I'm going to copy this whole thing, paste it in here, and this is going to be one, right? Yeah, yeah, that's fine. All right, so I'm just going to run both regressions now. So first it's going to be demo or not, explaining death rate, and the next one will be with all the other control variables, regression. So my Y range is cover death rate. My X range is democracy or not. Labels, I'm going to click off standardized and residuals. That's it. So what's going to go in? Go in this, 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 and this is going to go in a weird way, but let's just do that first. So do first regression. Well, actually, I'm going to run both regression. I'm going to put in one table. It will just make it a little bit easier. So now that's data again, data analysis, regression. All is going to change. I'm going to include all of these variables, but not population size. So I need to cancel out this and cut and paste those in there. Yep. All right. Now I can do it. Not. Yeah. Click OK. Yeah. So here again, what we're going to keep, what we're going to deal with, 24. These are going to go in. These are going to go in. But this is going to be the only statistical significance that we see. All right, so let's insert a table. I'm going to do it after 5. All right, so give me table 2. Two, 8, 7, 10. But error is going to be by nation density base. The base. Yeah. Then per capita, and then constant on square. Population. So let's just fill this in. So our first model is just democracy or not. So that's 778.124.291.3, and that's statistically significant. My constant there is 444.806. My R square is 0.098. And my observations are 68. I'm going to just do so 68. Then democracy or not. Statistically something over 65, 40.06. Nation density, negative. If these were something more important, I might actually, transform them into thousands of dollars, but they're not statistically significant, and there's probably not much there. Constant is, so you see how this constant means nothing, because there are literally negative deaths predicted if everything was zero, but because, it doesn't really mean anything. 242, a number of observations. That's it. Oh, and then I'm going to do star p less than 0.05. All right, so I'm going to write this up. Yeah, table 2 shows the action. Oh. Hello, sorry about that. That was the chair of sociology just wanted to chat. So anyway, I'm going through this. So one of the things I'm going to say, because I'm saying now on the next model, when controlling for the other factors in the full model, and I'm saying that controlling, but you can say it whichever one you want. Confident COVID is correlated to death rate, democracies. So yeah, that's just under. All right, so let me just read through this. There's some extra space there. So table two shows the two regression models. In the basic model, I'm confident that democracy or not is related to COVID reported COVID death rates. On average, democracies have about 775 more deaths per million than democracies. It's just over that, but I think that sounds more understandable. My model explains just under a tenth of the variation in death rate. Yeah, right. When controlling for other factors, brackets my full model, I'm confident that democracy is related to COVID death rates. Democracies have just under 700 more deaths per million than non-democracies. None of my other variables, let's spell variables correctly, are statistically significant related to death rate when controlling the other variables in the model. My model explains just under a quarter of the variation in death rate. That's it. Remember, the thing is, of course, it's reported COVID deaths. That's what the problem is. So I'm going to post this and then I'll see you all tomorrow or not. All right. Bye-bye.